and welcome to Hunter Fuel, a supernatural rewatch podcast for adults who enjoy their show with a chaser. I'm Liz.
And I'm Lynn.
Thanks so much for joining us for season 3, episode 15. Time is on my side. We model responsible drunkenness here. All participants are way over 21.
Mhm.
No one is pregnant. No one will be driving, handling weapons, operating heavy machinery, or leaving blow up dolls in our beds. If you're playing with us, those are the rules. If you decide not to follow them and you do something stupid, don't blame us. Lynn, what are you drinking this evening?
So, so my husband started this last year where he got me an advent calendar that was all wine. So,
Okay, I like
so
that kinda advent calendar.
yeah, so this year I got it again. So I was prepared for to pull just about anything out of there tonight. I've seen champagne. I have seen a sparkling blush. What I have never seen is a sparkling red.
I was about to say you've seen fire and you've seen rain. You've seen sunny days that you thought would never end,
Red. So,
but you've
yes.
never seen a sparkling red. Now let me ask, have you had a sip of this yet, or are we
Nope.
gonna Oh, we're gonna see your reaction live. This is exciting.
So, yeah, that one when I pulled it out and I saw the can, I was like, "Ooh, champagne, but it's red. What the fuck?"
Okay. This is gonna be interesting. So do you have a guess as to what the featured cocktail for this week's episode is?
Something regarding, like, maybe, like, s now, of course, I'm thinking of the theme from Days of Our Lives, but it's like Sands Through the Hourglass or, like,
Oh,
something revolving time. I was trying to think what that thing
okay.
actually is called, and I don't know if it is an hourglass or but you know
Y
what I'm talking about.
It is an hourglass, however, I went a little more macabre, and the featured cocktail for this episode is called a body snatcher. It
That's
is 2 ounces of Blanco tequila, 1 ounce of orange juice, 3/4 of an ounce of limoncello, 1/2 ounce of lime juice, and 2 dashes of black lemon bitters. Shake that with ice, drain, and serve. Producer Mark, would you bring up our Stupornatural game cards for us, please? I do not
I'm
have a good feel about mine.
Nope, I foresee a lot of cheating tonight.
I see not only do I see a lot of cheating, I predict that we will love our cocktails because it's usually the opposite. Like, the ones we want to drink, we don't get a lot of opportunity to, and the
Yep.
gross ones, we get all the squares.
Yeah. So,
Well,
yeah,
if
so I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say this could be interesting. All right, so we ready?
If you're playing along with us, there is a link to generate a card of your own in the link tree. Go ahead and give yourself that center square because the first one is on the house. So cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, I'm looking at your face. That is not a good face.
It's I think once it airs, it's gonna be okay. It's imagine a house Merlot pumped with air.
Okay. So
So, you know
somebody put a cheap red in a soda stream.
yeah. So, yeah, like that.
Oh, we can make our own sparkling red.
But don't get me wrong, a couple of sips in and it may grow on me.
Well, we're gonna find out.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll have chances to take more than a few sips. This one, I will say, it is unsurprisingly, it is very citrusy. So it's lighter than I thought it was going to be. It might be something that was kind of, you know what? It tastes like a fancy mimosa. honestly.
Ooh,
Like, I would without the bubbles. Like, I would have this for brunch, I think. I think it's a nice brunch cocktail. Well, with that, let's get this show on the road. So, our then, unsurprisingly, with our penultimate episode, it's very heavily leaning into Dean's demon deal, and Sam's determination to get Dean out of said deal. We also have Lilith, and we see that she, at least when we saw her in Just and Below, she was in the meat suit of a little girl. So we have that, and of course, Bella Talbot has stolen the colt.
the
Uh,
cult.
and Dean is saying he's pretty sure she's sold it to the highest bidder, and her answer is, "You know nothing about me."
Yeah.
And we get a good, I think we get a good look at the progression that Dean has taken
Mhm.
through the season of where, just recently he's starting to say, "I'm scared. I don't want to go to hell." We are in Erie, Pennsylvania, and
Yeah.
there's two, based on their conversation, we're going to assume that they are plastic surgeons walking out of a
Yep.
fitness club. And there's this great line, the one doctor says, "Staying young is
Uh,
brutal business." Now
yeah.
I'm gonna assume you recognize this actor.
Oh, yes. Yes, I do. He is
Yep.
a main character on When Calls the Heart.
Yes, this is Kavan Smith. He was also in Eureka, Stargate Atlantis, and the 4400, and he will return to Supernatural in the future as a different character. So we will, if you like him, he's coming back. So he is putting his stuff in the trunk of his car. We see somebody sneak up behind him, throw him in the trunk, and and there's this shot of him in the trunk of his own car kind of screaming for help. Everything goes black. The next shot is bare
Oh,
feet, and you can see the blood like trickling onto the floor between his feet. He's wearing an overcoat and he's walking kind of very strangely, and he's in the hospital, he's asking these nurses for help, and this nurse is like, "It's okay, don't worry, there's nothing I haven't seen," and he's like, "No, no, you haven't seen this." She pulls his coat open and you just hear this like splatting noise. She starts screaming, and there are like it blurry in the foreground, you can
uh,
see um his guts, like his guts just fell out on the floor.
uh.
Coming out of the title card, we have a demon being splashed with holy water, so we will look for that. I would call this torture.
Amen,
Uh,
sister. I was like, if you don't, you and I are gonna argue this one.
no. And he is, they are interrogating him, I should say, for
Yeah,
they want to know what demon holds Dean's contract. We have a bit of a wider shot here. He is in
yeah.
a devil's trap, so we will look for that also. This I love this shot of
Uh,
him with the fire behind him,
yeah,
and he just raises his head up into frame with these black eyes,
yeah.
and he's just like, "Yeah, no,
Your
it's your
mother.
mother." Yeah, so he's Oh, this is something we see from demons, right? That if they will do whatever they can to cause pain. If they can't do it physically, they'll use their words to do so. So he's essentially saying there is nothing you can do to me that is going to be anything compared to what the demon who holds your contract will do to me. So, you know, good luck, but you're getting bupkis from me. So Dean just looks at Sam, and Sam starts to recite the exorcism ritual. So we will look for that as well.
Mhm.
He is doing it from memory. So we saw that again in Just and Below that he had
Yeah.
memorized it. And I think this is really interesting. He says, "Go ahead, send me back to hell because when you get there, some of my pals are going to be waiting for some time with Dean Winchester. And it got me thinking about, um, like cops, like dirty cops, if they get
Yeah,
sent to jail, that they have to go into protective custody because there are
yeah.
people there who are none too happy with them. And I started thinking, like, it's got to be the same thing for the Winchesters that
Uh,
they've made some friends
Oh, yeah. Oh,
in the
just a
basement.
few.
Yeah. So they go ahead and also Sam sort of looks at Dean like, "Do you want to do this?" And Dean's like, "Yeah, put him somewhere he can't hurt anybody else."
But what I
Um,
love there is that we go back to seeing the subtleties, like I was talking
yes.
about last week, of
Yep.
how much they just said to each other with 2 looks versus
Yep.
the lack of subtlety that we were seeing last week. It's back to
Yeah.
that glance, glance, and nothing had to be said. You knew
Yep.
exactly
Yep.
what the other one was thinking.
I agree, and that is something that we're gonna see more of in this episode, and so it does sort of feel like after a long season, the boys are a little bit more back on track, in terms of their dynamics. But,
Yeah.
Dean drinks, so we will also
Yeah.
look for that, and, there is so Sam got a call about a case, and he tells Dean it's about zombies. And again, there's this conversation where they're both like, "Yeah, sure, I'll hunt zombies. Okay, fine, whatever." And you can see in Sam's face, like, "Yeah, no, nobody's hiding anything, nothing at all." S they
Now
Go
this
ahead.
scene kinda
Yes.
now he was also the doctor was also in One Calls the Heart, by the way.
Okay, yes, he was. Yes, he was. This is Terrence Kelly. He previously appeared in Supernatural as Daniel Elkins in Dead Man's Blood.
So, but that was totally off the subject to what I was actually gonna say. Um, but in
Fair.
that oh, I'm gonna pause this just for a second so we don't get too far off.
Okay.
Um, is that the one thing about this scene that bothers me is that because we were
Mhm,
just saying how the brothers are finally kind of back on to their subtle game.
mhm.
Yet usually they are much better at their con job than they are in this scene because they're
Yeah.
like, okay, were there teeth marks? And the doctor looks at them and go and says, "Can I see some ID? Because if you read that,"
Yes.
and I'm paraphrasing, but
No, you're correct.
if you read that report, I clearly state that it was done by a scalpel, and it's like,
It's
oh
surgical.
come on,
Yeah.
oh come on, boys, come on.
I know. Yeah, they're definitely muddling their way through this, which I know that we had talked about this in an episode earlier this season that, it is okay, it is early in the show. They're still kind of getting their feet under themselves when it comes to being con men. But at the same time, they're not newbies. And
No,
these
no,
are,
they're
I
not.
agree with you. I think they're making some rookie mistakes here.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna hit play again here so that we
Okay. So yeah, to your point about the him saying he hasn't read the report, Dean's like, "Of course I read it. It was a real page turner." Okay, so Terrence Kelly was also in The Watchmen with Jeffrey Dean Morgan. He was in Bates Motel, and he played 3 different characters in 21 Jump Street, and I'm mentioning that for a reason. We did, I believe we got their fake IDs there
Yeah.
when the doctor asked for them. Um and so here they are interviewing another victim. So we did not see this attack. But this is that urban legend of somebody waking up in a tub filled with ice with a kidney missing. And this
This an
this particular
ass.
victim is he's quite salty. He's quite salty and he's not interested in answering any of their questions because as far as he's concerned, none of that's gonna get him his kidney back, so why put the effort in? Um, but, he describes, being attacked from behind, waking up to the worst pain imaginable. So whoever is doing this is not bothering with any kind of anesthetic.
Nope.
Um, and he's like, you know what I remember? Getting my
Like,
kidney cut out of my
cut.
body.
Oh
See, Sam
god.
and Dean are just like, and Dean's like, ah, all right, fair enough.
Mhm.
Uh, Dean is eating here, but we already have a Dean eats or drinks. And you know what? I meant to do this while we were still paused, but I'm going to go ahead and pause it here. So we have we
We have a
have a dude
list.
and a get this. Okay, so yeah, brace yourself. We've got quite a list here. We have dude, get this, fake IDs, Dean drinks, exorcism, demon stuck in a devil's trap, torture, and a demon splashed with holy water. Let's see if
Uh,
any either of us have any of those.
I have
Go.
2.
All right, I have fake IDs. I have a
I
demon
have
stuck in a devil's trap.
get this and torture.
Okay, fantastic. See. No, those are the two that I have.
Those are
Only if you're
the
playing 2, you did better than we did.
Yeah, I was gonna say I am summoning, so if they had summoned one of them, I would have been
Yeah.
okay, but no, I do not
Alright.
have I don't have the other way around though.
Alright,
But,
well,
uh,
cheers.
cheers.
Mm. Alright, back to our regularly
Mhm.
scheduled program. So Sam is going through the lore. He doesn't say lore,
I
unfortunately.
know.
But what
Unfortunately,
he's
because I
saying
do have that one.
I know. But he essentially saying all the evidence is pointing to like really old school surgery, like silk sutures, maggots used to control wound infection. And and he says, Dean is like, why does this all sound familiar? And Sam's like, because when we were kids, Dad took this on and he hands Dean Dad's journal. There's an entry about Doc Benton who found a way to live forever. Now, if you've read Supernatural Origins, the comic series, this story appears in there. So we see
Mhm.
John tangle with Doc Benton. Um, and Tina's like, But if dad cut out his heart, how's he still running around?" And Sam is like, "Guess he plugged in a new one." Um, so Dean is continuing to eat while Sam is going through this, and you can see Sam is just absolutely loving torturing his brother trying to eat, and you see Dean like, "Well," and then he looks at the burger and he's like, "Oh, baby, I can't stay mad at you." It's like,
Oh my god,
um
that line cracks me up.
It is cute, it is cute. Okay, so we cut to a jogger, and if
Yes.
we've learned anything watching Supernatural, it's that going running by yourself at night is never a good idea. He's got a heart pulse monitor watch, so we can hear it
Yeah.
beeping as he's running along, and it tells us his pulse at the moment is 126. He bends over to tie his shoe, and as he
Mm,
stands up, a cloth rag goes right over his face. Back to his
mm,
watch, down to
yeah,
76,
yes.
and again, it's sort of old school. There's an oil lamp. As he
Mhm.
gets agitated, his pulse rate is rising. So he is strapped to a table, shirtless.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
and there is a jar of maggots squirming away on the table. And here
Oh,
comes This is Billy Drago, which if you
Oh,
saw the movie The Untouchables with Kevin Costner, this guy may or may not
oh,
look familiar to you because he didn't look like Frankenstein's monster at the time. So the makeup on
oh,
this guy is
that
fantastic. He
fantastic.
looks like a patchwork. And this
Ah,
scene here is just nightmare
oh,
fuel as he cracks open this guy's chest while
well,
he's still
oh,
alive. Like how they
oh,
got this past standards and practices, I have no idea. But the special effects are
oh,
amazing as you watch him lift this still beating heart out of this guy's chest, and,
just,
like, just and you can see it, like and then his heart rate just goes to 0. We had a
but
quirky
now
motel.
the
Go
one
ahead.
comment I have about that, because of
Yes.
course,
You know what, I'm
because
gonna pause it here. Go ahead.
I just
Oh,
did,
no,
I
you
just
already did.
yes,
It has
is
been paused.
it has been paused. Um, is now I am willing to completely there are a couple of goofs when it comes to that watch, and
Okay.
one I am fully and completely ready to look past.
Mm.
The fact that it's technically worn upside like, it's supposed to be worn on the other side of his wrist, but then we wouldn't be able to
Oh,
read
oh,
it,
what
so
mistake.
oh,
I know
well.
people who wear their watches on a different wrist, but anyway, if it's a goof, it's a goof.
It's but for that particular watch, in order for it to truly tell your heartbeat, it is supposed to have a like, something actually on his chest that is
Oh,
connected
okay.
to the watch, which clearly it did not have
It
because
is
when
not.
they show him shirtless,
There's no
there is
lead,
no
yeah,
strip on his chest, and it
right.
is still clearly showing his heart rate.
And I do think it's interesting from a modern with a modern eye, because this is old school tech, right?
Yeah.
Like, people wear watches all the time that do
Mhm.
that now without any kind of extra wires or anything. So, like, it doesn't look that odd to a modern eye.
Correct.
But, going back to 2008, 2009, it would have been relatively new technology. So it doesn't surprise me that it would have needed some kind of a patch. It's just the kind of thing you don't notice, when
Correct.
that's standard technology now.
Yeah, yeah, so that was just the one that as I said, the fact that he had it upside down apparently for the way we're looking at it, it was upside down and backwards, that
Mm,
it's like, well, if you did it the other way, we wouldn't be able to see it, so
right.
that that makes complete sense to me as to why they had to
Yeah.
take a little bit of, cinematic you know the expression I'm looking for,
Oh,
I'm
I
just
see
not
what you're saying. I thought you meant he had it on the wrong wrist. You're
no,
saying it's upside down, like it's facing in the wrong direction. Like if he held
yeah,
his wrist up, he wouldn't be able to read it. I see what you're saying.
yeah.
Yes, I agree. Yes, you're correct. They would have had to have the camera the other way.
Yeah, well, I will very easily overlook that one because 'cause I'm not cocking my head around a lot to see that,
I
so
know. Hold the
nope.
TV still.
Yeah.
Gonna hit play here. We are in a quirky motel room. And Dean gets a phone call. I love this overhead shot where you can see that Sam's bed is all neatly made and Dean's is just like he just sort of pulled the top blanket up. Um, but it's a call from Bobby, and
Yeah.
Bobby says he got a call from somebody he knows named Rufus, who claims he has a lead on Bella. British accent, went by the name Mina Chandler, which is a name she's used before. And there's this line from Dean where he's like, kind of a sloppy move, going back to some comments you had made for Jacin below, that she was craftier than that. And even Dean
Yes.
is like, this seems strangely sloppy for her. So Bobby claims he hasn't spoken to Rufus in 15 years, and he assumes Rufus, like Bella's gonna have no idea that Rufus knows Bobby.
Yeah.
So Dean is like, okay, we're gonna go after Bella. And Sam is like, no, the case is here. This is how we save you. And this is where finally Sam
Yeah.
admits he's kind of been hoping for this, that this was what he thought it was all along. He knew it wasn't
Mhm.
zombies. He suspected it was Doc Benton. And this is how they save Dean in his mind, because if Dean never dies, he can't
Yeah.
go to hell.
Right.
So of course, and it's like, okay, so you're trying to chase Slicey McHackey so that you can
You
study him, and so they both want the same thing. They both want to
Mhm.
save Dean, and Sam's idea is maybe we can use science or whatever it is Slicey McHackey has done to him, and we can do the same thing to Dean and save him. And Dean is like, "No, our best chance is to track down Bella, and if she doesn't have the colt, then I can kill her and stop her from hurting anybody else, and maybe get a little revenge in the meantime." So they have this argument here, and as they decide to split up, I love
Oh.
this little interaction here where Dean's like, "I'm going. If you want to stay, stay." And Sam's like, "Yeah, I'm
I'm
staying.
saying.
The case is here." And this is what you were talking about earlier, that as Dean leaves, there's this great
Oh,
shot where, like, he turns and looks back and he says, "Sammy,
I've seen
be careful." And Sam turns
mm,
around and he says, "You too."
you
And
too.
it's like there's
Oh.
everything in their faces that,
Yep.
like, this is a great little moment. They
N
don't say enough for me to feel comfortable calling it a heartfelt bromance,
See, I
but
was just
but
gonna
it's
say, would you call it one? Because they say so much in their eyes.
yeah, yeah. Let's talk
Let's
about that the next time we pause. So one thing Bobby did say to Dean is make sure you've got a bottle of Johnny Walker Blue Label
Yeah.
with you. So Dean shows up at Rufus's house. He's got a big "Go away" sign on his door, and Rufus clearly has zero interest in
Yep.
talking to Dean. He's like, "You can get the fuck off my
Um,
porch." He's giving
mhm,
Dean the cold shoulder, and he's like, "No, no, I have no interest in helping you." He comes to the door and he's like, "Look, you're knocking on my door. I am not your man." And so Dean switches to sir. He's like, "Look, once upon a time, Bobby called, asked me to call him if I got a whiff of Bella. I got a whiff. I called, the end." Yeah,
mhm.
and he just like, "You know what? Time for you to get off my porch." So he's very curmudgeonly,
Yeah.
and his response is, "Get off my property." And Dean's like, "Okay, I got one more question for you though." And he reaches into his bag and he pulls out this bottle of Johnny
Bottle
Walker
of
Blue
water
Label.
blue.
He's like, "Is this considered good?" And Rufus's entire demeanor changes. He's grinning all over himself. Um, and there's this they're sharing the Johnny Walker Blue Label, and Dean says, "Most of my scotch comes out of a plastic jug." You know? Um, but this is kind of a great little conversation here where, he's saying, she just wanted to buy a couple things. Um, and you can see that Rufus is still like, he's holding his cards very close to the vest, and he confronts Dean. He's like, You've got 3 weeks left. Why are you spending it chasing after that skinny, stuck-up English girl?" And Dana's like, "How do you know that?" When it's just it's a great like,
Yeah.
it's almost a poker game where, like,
Yeah.
they're both trying to suss out the other, what do they know, and um, part of the reason I mentioned 21 Jump Street before is because this actor is Steven Williams, and he was on 21 Jump Street back in the day, which of course had Kim Manners, so there's a connection
Yeah.
there. He was also in the Blues Brothers, the X Files,
Yeah.
All Rise, Yellowstone. The list goes on. This guy has been in
That's
a
where I
lot.
that's where I also recognize him
It's
from.
All Rise.
All Rise. Yep.
Yeah. Um, so he starts saying, I'm what you've got to look forward to if you survive, but you won't. And he's got this little smile, So he leaves Dean feeling pretty unsettled. Um, Back to the woods, and Sam has another rental car, and so he had found some cabins in the woods that seemed like the kind of place Doc Benton would have liked back in the day. And he's at some park or like state game lands or what have you, and he's checking it out. Um,
What it was it just me who, as soon as they decided to split up, my first thought was, "Oh, this should go swimmingly."
course, that
Because
because that's always what you do in a horror film. You split up. That's how you survive.
yeah, and I say, and especially with these 2, they split up and nothing ever goes smoothly.
It
That
tends not to go well for them when they're not together. You're not wrong. Um,
so, yeah, I was
but,
like, oh dear Lord."
I know. So sure enough, they are alone. Sam is in the woods by himself. This can't possibly go badly. Um, Back to Dean and Rufus, and they're agreeing that, like, yeah, she burned her fingerprints off. Her fingerprints will get you nothing. And he's like, you do her ear, and you can
I love the look
see
on Dean's
is
face.
like, I'll
Oh,
try
what?
anything once, but I don't know. That sounds a little uncomfortable. So, and this is true actually, that the whorls of your ear are as unique as fingerprints. It's one of the reasons why, if you've had any kind of like passport photo or anything like that, you have to have at least one of your ears exposed for those. So,
I never
uh
knew that.
it is. This is totally true. So he's saying he got a clean shot of her ear from his security camera, and he sent it to a friend over in England who sent him 10-page dossier on her. Which, because he's now, like, you can see there's a lot of this bottle of scotch missing. The two of them have put a hurt on this $200 bottle of scotch. And he is now willing to share what he knows.
Yep.
And you can see Dean's reaction as he starts to look through this. So if we go back to Red Sky at morning, they knew then that she had been responsible for killing someone in her family. Otherwise, the
Yeah.
ghost ship would not have come after
Uh-huh.
her.
Right.
But whatever is in there, you can see like Dean is like, holy
Fuck.
crap, this is worse than I thought.
That and
Back
then,
to,
as
go
I
ahead.
always say, if you phase Dean Winchester, you know you did
Yeah.
something, because it takes
Yeah,
quite a
you are
bit.
absolutely you are not wrong about that. Yeah, I agree. Um, so Sam has broken into one of these cabins, and sadly, we don't see him pick the lock. Makes me very unhappy. He finds Doc Benton's journal. He grabs that. This is lit really well with like just the flashlight.
Oh.
Like they're leaning into the creep factor here. And Jared is so tall. He's got to like crouch to a pretzel to try to get in this basement, and he still can't get his head under. Uh,
But yeah,
but as he
like this is not going like this is I'm sorry, but this has like the stereotypical horror scene written all over
yes,
it, like
it does.
going into the dark basement by
Yep,
yourself
yep,
in
flashlight,
the yeah,
yep,
in the
uh,
deserted woods by yourself. It's like, oh
yep.
dear God.
I completely agree with you. And so the gentleman who had his heart cut out is still there. We get this kind of long look at a one of those like basement windows that's been boarded up. And Sam checks that guy's pulse and he's a goner. He finds another
Ugh.
person. So this woman, this is an unconscious person. We're going to find out in a minute she's not dead. The maggot wrangler is back on set at Supernatural. So this actor, this is Kalina Kiff. She was Kim Manner's assistant. Um, we've got a little jump scare here. She is still alive, and Sam now her only one of her wrists is strapped down, which I think that's a mistake. Um, but Sam manages to like they hear Doc Benton coming. She's freaking out. So like he's literally putting his hand over her mouth and it's like covering up her entire head. It's so cute. Um, but Doc Benton comes down the stairs with his old school
Yeah.
oil lamp. And this is the first
Ugh.
time we've seen him without his mask on. And he is just a patchwork
Patches.
quilt. Like it's
Ugh. It's
again, the
so
makeup on
gross.
this guy, it's gross and it's awesome. But he comes and so we see this window from the other side. So Sam has taken victim now number 3 that well
Mm.
4, sorry, that we've seen. And he is escaping with her as they run through the woods. So every day, the maggot wrangler had to count all of the maggots to make sure that they were accounted for and safe and unharmed. So for this scene, they had like grains of rice so that as she's running, they're like dropping the rice so that none of the none of the maggots would be injured. So these are stunt maggots. He gets her into the car.
Mm.
Would you call this Sam getting conked in the head? Because Doc Benton, like, hits him, it, like, jabs his head into the steering wheel 3 times.
I
Um,
would. I would, because I mean, he gets conked in the head by a steering wheel.
yeah, like, technically, he conks the steering wheel, but I feel like we should count this. He runs over Doc Benton, and as
Oh.
Doc Benton stands up, his neck is broken, and he just, like, picks it up and cracks it back on, and one of his eyes
Oh.
is damaged.
Oh.
Um, you know what? I am going to pause this here
Mhm.
in between scenes. So we have,
Oh.
in that case, we have an unconscious person. Sam gets conked on the head. We have a Sammy and a quirky motel room. Let's look for those and then we can talk about whether we had a heartfelt moment. Um, I have Sammy.
I have I have unconscious person.
Okay, that's fantastic. Good for
Uh,
you.
yeah, good on yours. What was it?
Yeah, I think the only one of that list I have is Sammy.
Yeah, I think that's all I've got.
Okay, well, cheers.
Cheers.
Mm, okay.
So, I am definitely will and I mean, not and I even have the heartfelt bro moment,
I do
if
as well.
but
Um,
if you feel strongly that you need more dialogue, I am definitely willing to let it go.
well, and I was about to say if you feel strongly that it is, I would be willing to let it go. I, excuse me, I agree with you in that. they say a lot with their eyes, but I do feel like it's not our it it's not our typical heartfelt moment, right? Like,
No, no, it's not.
there's no Hallmark Christmas movie music playing or, so, um, I I don't feel like it is one,
Okay,
but
well then I was saying
okay.
there are definitely other ones that I have fought for more, so I am definitely willing to let that one go.
Alright, well, let us know in the comments if you think that should have been a heartfelt okay. Let us hit play then, and we have Bella back in her hotel room, and immediately Dean grabs him. He's got a gun
Yeah.
in her face, and she
Oh.
says the colt is long gone. Um, and she thinks for a second Dean grabs her and she's like, "How dare you?" And he's like, "Oh, don't flatter yourself." So he takes a gun away from her. He starts going through everything, and there's this great shot where, like, his back
Oh.
is turned, he's going through the drawers, and she starts to, like, head for the door, and he just fires a bullet right beside her head, right through the door. It's a great shot, and he's like, "Do not
Don't
think I won't
move.
shoot you." Um, sorry, I thought you were about to say something.
No, I was quoting him. He's like, "Don't move."
Don't do it. Um,
Mhm.
and he's got of course, she's got Louis Vuitton luggage, she's
Uh,
staying in, this nice hotel, and and she's like, "It's gone. It's gone. There's nothing you can do." And so there's this long question here, is Dean going to shoot her in the face at point blank range? Um, and I love the lighting on Dean here, that he starts out with, like, kind of half in the light, but
yep.
it's not like totally in the dark, but he's definitely, like, in a bit of a shadow. And as he gets closer to her, and he starts to tell her that he knows her story, that her parents are dead, car accident, and she inherited millions. And there's just this little flash of her as a child sitting on a bed crying, and this man comes into her room and
Mm.
closes the door, and you can hear her crying on the other side. Um, and if we remember again from Red Sky at Morning, she said, "You wouldn't understand. No one did." And we also had that line where Dean asked her if Daddy didn't hug her enough, and she got
Oh,
really angry. So here it is. He gets right
yeah.
up in her space. He's got the gun, like,
Uh,
literally on her chin, and the light, he's this keyhole light
oh,
on his face from the bullet hole in the door. It's fantastic.
fantastic.
And he looks up and he notices she's got some kind of thing over the door.
Yeah,
It's some kind of, like, bundle of sticks of some
yeah.
kind. And he says, "You know what? You're not worth it." And he just shoves her aside and he walks out. She looks down. She's pulled a receipt out of his pocket for the motel that he and I almost said Jared, that he and Sam are staying at. She makes a phone call, and the first words she says are, "It worked." So, Lynn, to your earlier point, if she's being sloppy, it's on purpose. That
Yeah,
that if they've found her, it's because she wants to be found.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
Dean
unfortunately,
calls
though, if the
Sam.
boys are slightly sloppy, it's never on purpose. Well,
Right.
very, very, very rarely on purpose.
Yes. Yeah. The boys can be sloppy. Bella is not.
Mm,
Um, So Dean calls Sam and he's like, "I'm screwed. I'm screwed. The Colt's gone. There's nothing we can do." And Sam is like, "No, I found the cabin. I found the formula. It's it's not. black magic. That's there's no sacrifice, there's no blood rituals, there's nothing. It's just science.
Science.
Very, very extremely weird science, but it's science. Um, so, Sam is very optimistic that this could save Dean. Um, so as he's on the phone with Dean, somebody jumps him from behind, and again, it's the
Mhm.
chloroform rag
Yeah,
over his mouth.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, look at the
and
eye.
I
Oh
know
god. Oh,
Sam's
yeah.
Sam's
Oh,
eye is taped open, and I should say, I feel so bad for Jared, like, that was an uncomfortable couple of hours strapped to a table, so Sam is
oh,
tied up, we will look for that, um, and, uh,
oh.
Doc Benton has a a rusty melon baller that they have cut
Oh,
like a sawtooth into one edge. And Doc
oh,
Benton is insisting, "I am not a monster. I have never done anything I didn't have to do. But this immortality thing, very high maintenance. Something goes bad, you have to replace it." Um, and he goes on to say that he remembers his run-in with John Winchester, and it was very inconvenient when
oh,
John
god.
Winchester had cut his heart out. So he's been reading John's journal, and
Oh,
he's very excited to have the opportunity to replace his bad eye with one from the son of the guy who gave him trouble 20 years before. Um, and there's
oh,
this horrific
like,
close-up shot of
oh,
him, with this rusty
oh,
melon baller, trying
oh,
to scoop out Sam's
oh, god.
eye,
Oh,
and it's so
oh,
terrible. And he gets shot through the chest, so here comes Dean to the rescue, and he doesn't even flinch as Dean is, pumping round after round through him. Pardon me. He throws Dean into the wall, we will look
oh,
for that. Um, and he's telling Dean, like, "There's nothing you can do here," and Dean stabs him in the heart, and he's like, "Really? Th What part of immortality do you not understand?" And this is
oh,
something we've seen from Dean before, and we will see it again, that he's willing to kinda take a bit of a beating if it gets him in close to something he needs or wants. And so
yeah,
Dean says he poured chloroform, which is what's been on the rags that the doctor has been knocking people out with. He poured chloroform onto the knife, and now that he's stabbed him in the heart, that should, and sure enough, he
mm,
goes down.
yeah.
I'm not that confident that's how chloroform works.
No,
Um,
neither am I. There's a couple of things about this storyline that we can talk about at the end that just bother me. It
I
j
I understand. I do. There are a couple things that are a little convenient. Um, but uh, Dean starts to say, okay, time for us to find a way to end you. I guess we're gonna have to cut you up into really small little pieces. And
uh,
Doc Benton is saying, like, I can read the formula for you. I can save you. And you can see Sam is like,
like,
"We can do
mm,
this. This is what saves you." Dean pulls him into another room, and I love this conversation here, where, like, how bad is
Uh,
this gonna be, right? Like, in a couple of weeks, or in, a couple decades, we get you a new pancreas. Like, we have time to figure it out. And what Dean essentially responds is, No. No, he
no.
would rather die as a man than live as a monster."
Yeah.
And the fact that Sam can't see that's what Dean
Okay.
would be if he did this, was a monster, is really interesting. Um,
Yeah,
so
because
they
even s I hate to say, even Dean before like, would never have gone that route. So for
no.
Sam to be like, "Well, I'm trying to become more like you," even he would not have gone that route, so he can't use that excuse.
Yes, I completely agree. Alright, so we are with Doc Benton, and he's got a lit match, and we can see now he's in an old refrigerator that's been chained closed. His
Yeah.
journal is on top, and the boys are standing there. They've dug a hole for
Oh, yeah,
him.
and
And,
that's a
and
that's an extra deep one.
that yeah, they did not skimp on this hole. And the look on Sam's face as he's like, this is our chance to save my brother. I'm gonna pause this here on this great shot through the posts on the porch of the two of them burying
Uh,
him. And so the idea of like being trapped in a box forever,
oh,
unable to die, like,
oh,
if there was one more thing that was gonna keep you up at night that in this episode, they found it. Um,
oh,
okay, while we have it paused, I didn't call it out earlier, but when, Doc Benton threw Dean into the wall, we had a weapon drop as well. So, we have Sam is tied up, Dean gets thrown into the wall, and a weapon drop. Let's look for if
I don't
either of us have any.
think I
No?
have any.
I am feeling like I don't have any either.
Professor
Um,
Taylor,
fourth
Dean
wall break.
Cook,
No,
exorcism.
no, I don't have any, and it makes me very sad. Oh, no, wait,
Well,
that's
but
not true. I have one of the boys gets tied up.
I don't. I literally unless I'm oblivious, which is
Mm,
possible. I did not get much sleep last night. Um, I
well,
don't think I have any.
how about you
Oh,
join me?
I'm joining you. Trust me. There,
Cheers.
cheers. Mm.
All right. We've just got a couple minutes left here. So we're gonna hit
Uh,
play.
yeah.
And coming out of the black screen, we're at the Erie, which is the
Mm.
motel Sam and Dean were staying at. We see Bella walking down the hall. Um
Oh,
I is that
now
wait,
the
does she pick no, she doesn't. Does she pick the lock?
well, she has. It's not her room,
I'm gonna back
and
it up just a tiny bit because we see her, she doesn't be oh no, does she have a key?
I think she actually does because well, it's too big almost.
Yeah, god damn it, she's got a key from somewhere. Couldn't you have pecked the lock like a proper thief?
Yeah,
Yes, I'm a great thief, don't even pick the lock, come on.
especially since I
Um,
think I have a lock pick.
Me too, god damn it. So she breaks into their room, she's got a pistol with a silencer, and she fires 2 rounds each into what she believes are Sam and Dean asleep in their beds at 11:56, and she pulls the covers back, and it's 2 blow up sex
Well,
sex dolls. with the air, like, squeaking out of the bullet holes.
I
Telephone
love.
rings,
Yep.
and it's Dean. "Hiya, Bella." You know, so this is exactly what she did to them in just in
Yeah.
below. So, they wait for her to get into the room, and they call. And
Mhm.
Dean says, "I noticed above your door you have devil's shoestring. There's only one use for that, and that's holding hellhounds at bay." And so he realizes her parents died 10 years ago today. She didn't kill them, she made a demon deal. And this is it this is kind of an interesting performance from Bella. Like, now that Bella has nothing left to lose, she just lets it all hang out, and she gets like all the facade just strips away, and she's very weepy. We get a flashback to this I would call this a creepy
Mhm.
evil kid.
Oh, yeah.
Um who is our crossroad demon in the guise of
Yeah.
a child.
Yep.
Um And she says they offered her a way out of her deal if she brought them the colt, which she did, and then, the demon changed the deal and said, no, she had to kill Sam and Dean. But of course, the 2 of them are long gone, and
Mhm.
she's begging them for help, and he's like, "There you have 3 minutes left to live. There's nothing we can do for you." We if you'd left us with the colt and asked us for help, we probably could have saved you. But you didn't, and now it sucks to be you. So she drops this name here. She says Lilith is the one who holds all the contracts. She is in charge of the crossroad demons. And and he's like, "Why are you telling me this?" She says, "'Cause just maybe you can kill the bitch."
Oh.
So, this last thing from Dean, he says, "I'll see you in hell," and he hangs up.
Oh.
And as she's sitting there, you can start to hear the hellhounds baying in the distance. The clock flips over from 11:59 to midnight, and she just, like, stands up and looks out the window. And this is the last we will ever see of Bella Talbot.
Oh.
Um, and that is our episode.
Oh god, and I need a drink after. I need more than just a sip after that episode.
I don't disagree with you. We do need to
Oh,
check our cards for a creepy evil kid, which, if memory
oh, I
serves,
have
I do
one.
not have. Oh,
I
good.
do.
Good for you.
So, yeah. Now, did we not
Yeah,
have a son of a bitch in that entire episode?
I did not see one.
Okay,
He
well,
he calls her a bitch, or says, like, the bitch of it is, or something like that, but we sadly do not get either a pick a lock or a son of a bitch. Um, yeah, yeah,
oh.
sadly, I do
Oh, wait a minute.
not have.
We did have perform an exorcism, didn't we? Or am I losing my
Yes, we did.
mind?
We
Okay,
did at the
I
beginning.
somehow I missed seeing that one. I always saw the summonsing, and I just spotted the exorcism.
Awesome, you've gotten an extra one. Well, then
Yay!
it's not even cheating for you to join me. Uh, Cheers.
Cheers. Well, that and I also had creepy evil kid.
Oh, good for you. Well, so it was cheating for me to join you, and I don't even care.
Yeah, it's never cheating to join me on drinking, ever.
Indeed, indeed. So, all right.
Um, so
How did
I've
we
got
do?
3 in a row max with a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
3 and 6, and I think I also have 3 and a total of 5. So,
Uh,
yeah, this was a Now, I will say I didn't enjoy my cocktail as much as I expected to with cards this bad, but it wasn't a bad cocktail.
And I gotta say, as the while the once the wine had a moment to breathe, it wasn't bad. I mean, was it my
Mm.
favorite? No, but it wasn't bad. It needed some time to breathe.
I know this is a terribly old reference, but I every time somebody says something about, excuse me, letting like a wine or a scotch breathe, I remember that scene in Cocktail where he brings the bottle of scotch and he says, "Should we let it breathe?" And he says, "It's been in the bottle for 20 years. It's dead. It doesn't need to breathe. It's just
See, now
drinking."
I thought you were gonna say the line from Jaws
Which
when
one?
the one where he opens the red wine and he and pours it into 2 basically water glasses, and the guy goes, because he starts drinking right away, he goes, "Aren't you gonna let that breathe for a minute?" And he's like, "Oh, nope,
No.
nope."
No, in fact, I will not. Uh, all right. One thing you loved and one thing you hated.
Oh, I'm gonna say not that I loved it, but well, it was really good, but oh my god, did it make me cringe. Is I think we've gotta give a call out to the people who did makeup for this,
Yes.
because holy crap, did they do a great job.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it made it to where I needed a unicorn chaser after this episode. It was so cringeworthy that they
It
definitely
is.
did they did their job.
I completely agree. And from what I understand, like and again, they were filming in HD this season. So the camera was unforgiving
Yeah,
and they still pull it off. And excuse me, one of the I think it was this episode was directed by Charles Beeson. I think it was him. He was saying that he was standing inches away from that guy and the makeup still held up. Like I agree. They did an extra fine job this episode.
yeah. So, one thing I hated was, in my opinion, there are a lot of holes with the immortality storyline that
Mhm.
just, because to me, like, if I think immortality, I think more, I don't want to say vampires, but like they don't look like that guy almost looked more demonic slash like Frankenstein-ish.
He looks like Frankenstein's monster. Yeah.
Yeah, and like that's not like immortality is being not that vampires are alive by any stretch, but like they don't
No.
have a beating heart and all that,
Right, right.
but like you can't take your neck, go like this after it's broken and say I'm immortal. Like to me that's demonic, and that's yeah, it just doesn't work for me.
I don't disagree with you. And the thing that like if he's immortal, he shouldn't need to replace parts. Like,
Yeah.
let's just say hypothetically, he never replaced his heart. What would happen? Like,
Mm.
why, if he's immortal, why does he need to replace the parts that aren't working? I mean, you can sort of understand, and again, like, eh, the chances of him having the surgical know-how from the 1800s to attach an eye, and, are
Yeah.
slim to none. Um, but, like, I see what you're saying, and I can't disagree with you.
Yeah. That and if how's he gonna reattach his own heart? Like, how's he gonna take out the damaged one and put in the new one if he needs a new heart? Like, just
Right.
not there are way too many things that just don't line up and don't make sense in this one.
No, I see where you're coming from, and that is very fair. For me, I think this one is properly creepy. Like, yes, I agree with you. There's some holes here. But like as you said, the special effects are great. And for me, because like I love special effects, don't get me wrong, but I'm focused on the story. Like the special effects should serve the story, not the
Right.
other way around. I'm looking at you, James Cameron. Um, and so for me, the thing that I really loved about this one is that the actors had space. Like we got that long look between Sam and Dean. We had that
Yes.
great interaction between Dean and Bella. The whole dynamic between um Dean and Rufus. Like there were
Yes.
just these really great moments where, for an episode about a dude stealing body parts, it was kind of talk heavy, but the actors do such an incredible job with it. Like it's really great.
I say the moments that needed to be there were not rushed at all.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And which honestly is also the thing that I sort of hated about this, that and I know I've complained about it from the beginning, and your take on it is different than mine, which is totally fine. But the thing that just annoys me so much is that this is this is Bella's last episode, and we finally get some backstory for her. Now understanding because of the writer's strike, they lost time for storytelling. So, I'm sure their plan had been to do a little better with that. But just uh, finally, her very last episode, we get to really see Lauren Cohan's talent and skill, um, and what everything that her character could have been if they had given her the space. And so I just really like if I have to pick something I hate about this episode, it's that they took a wonderful actor, what could have been a wonderful character, and this is the last that we see. Like this is all they did with her. Like it was a wasted opportunity, I think.
I can totally understand where you're coming from. That being said, I can understand why they did it the way they did it.
Mm,
Um, I completely see where you're coming from,
mm,
but had they introduced her backstory, unless they came out with a different way to do it, and don't ask me what that is because I couldn't tell you
mm,
right off the top of my head. Um, it By bringing her backstory in at the end, it alla it allowed us to see how she was departing, and, like, because otherwise it wouldn't have been the shock of why the hellhounds and all of that, and unless you did the countdown and all of that, but we've already got the countdown going on
Dean.
with Dean, so you really can't double that. I mean,
No,
you
I completely agree with you. I think that the flashbacks at the 11th hour were not a bad way to reveal her backstory. I just feel like her overall, it was an incredible waste of Lauren Cohan's, that it just her character was just underutilized and poorly written
Okay.
in my estimate. Right. Well, that is last
Last one.
call. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for coming along with us for the ride. If you like what we're doing here, please be sure to tell your friends. Please also like our videos and subscribe so it's easier for other people to find us too.
And if you would like to see more bonus episodes of Liz and I just completely unscripted, not that we're real scripted to start with, but not knowing the topic ahead of time, plus with more cocktails involved and with us in the same room, definitely give us some topics for Ask Jared and all that so that we have some awesome new opportunities. And if she and I aren't coming up with the questions, we really won't know what we're going we really won't have an answer until we pull that topic out of the jar.
Indeed, we love hearing from our SPN family. Comment, send us an email at hunterfuelpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Hunter Fuel Podcast. In our next episode, we will be discussing the season 3 finale, episode 16, No Rest for the Wicked, when Bobby waters the lawn. Until then, stay safe, everybody. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.